Welcome to another tutorial on the Armstar YouTube channel. I'm Thomas, and today we're going to talk about flaperon offset. So on a DLG, what do flaperons do, and why do we need to offset it? We'll take a look at these and answer these questions, and at the end of the video, we'll go through a pushrod installation together on this Deviant that I'm working on. So these are the flaperons on the wings, and they control three things. The camber of the wing, which dictates how much lift it produces. It acts as ailerons for banking input, and it serves as flaps to slow down the glider. These functions require different deflections. For an example, for camber control, the flaperons move up or down by only a few millimeters. As banking input, they move up and down roughly 15 millimeters or so, and for brakes, you really want it to move down as much as possible. But I'd say usually 60 to 80 degrees or so is pretty good. Less than 60 degrees and you might have a hard time slowing down the model. As usual, if you liked the video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up so YouTube knows to recommend it to others who are also searching for the videos on DLGs and RC gliders. And if you still haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button and bell icon so you don't miss our next videos. Back to the flaperons. So you only needed to move around 15 millimeters or so up, but you do need it to move down considerably more. So what do? Do you set the servo horn to control horn ratio closer to 1:1 so you get a lot of deflection on both sides and then, just clip off the upward deflection that you don't need through the radio? Yeah, don't do that. So what you'll end up doing is, you'll get up and down deflection at the amounts you need, but that's at the expense of how accurately the installation will center, and you'll give up a lot of torque. In other words, you're going to have a very hard time trimming the model. And if you throw with any decent power, it's probably going to flutter. What you do want to do is mechanically offset the servo install. So it'll give you the up and down movements that you need while maintaining the highest accuracy and torque that's possible from the servos. Now, before you think I'm a genius, I didn't invent this. Right? I don't know who did, but the first time I saw it was on RC groups in a post by Rito. It actually is quite magic. So what you do is, instead of using the neutral point of the servo and flaperon as the anchor of the installation, we use the maximum up travel as the foundation and do the installation with that as the anchor. You'll get all the up deflection you need, and the rest of the travel becomes downward deflection. Once installed, you can use your radio to bring the surfaces back to neutral. This is a Deviant 1 meter DLG that I've been rebuilding. So first, let's take the two push rods and slip them into the fuselage. Once the push rods are in the fuselage and poking out of their slots, we'll hook up the push rods to the control horns and mount the wing onto the fuselage. For this model, I know I only use about 13 millimeters of up elevator, so I'll take a small piece of balsa that I've cut to 13 millimeters in height, and I'm going to use that as a spacer to tape the aileron to its maximum up deflection. I use a servo tester to then move my servo to the maximum up direction, and then I mark the center line of the hole onto the push rod with a Sharpie. Remove the space from the flaperon and stick it to the other side. This time, move the other servo to the maximum up direction and then mark that push rod as well. Remove the wing from the fuselage and then take out the push rods. When you bend the push rods, I place the edge of my pliers right up against the front of the line, so both sides are as symmetrical as I can make it. Cut off the excess ends and reinstall the push rod into the fuselage. Put a drop or two of CA on the ends and hit it with some accelerator. Once the CA cures, just move the joint around. It'll break loose from the nylon servo arm, but stay glued to the push rod wire and act as a keeper. It also helps to eliminate any potential slop between the push rod and servo arm. Hook up the push rods to the control horns and mount the wing back onto the fuselage. Now, different radios will bring your flaps back to neutral in different ways. So with the FreeSky radios or OpenTX, you're going to use the sub trim to bring it back to neutral. And on the Spectrum radios, I use camber systems to bring it to neutral. If you want more information on how to set up a DLG on your Spectrum radio, don't miss our DLG setup video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.